So we talked about initially fragmentation, and the European Consolidated Tape has been born against fragmentation. There needs to be a need for consistent liquidity across all of the venues within Europe. So that is why the Consolidated Tape is seen as a challenge and an opportunity for the marketplace. I think there are, as I mentioned, some challenges with the Consolidated Tape in terms of, are you going to have separate tapes for bonds, for equities? And I think all of those questions will be answered in due course. What we also see is, whether you look at the US, with the US equity options markets, the opera feed, which is akin to the Consolidated Tape in Europe, there's still a need for clients to need underlying constituent data for these markets. And working with a firm like TNS, we carry all of that underlying constituent data that makes up that underlying Consolidated Tape. So when you're looking to trade these instruments, and Consolidated Tape is, let's be honest, a benchmark feed, you then can work with us in a low latency fashion and access all those underlying contencies either on our global WAN network or in Colo. And looking at the Consolidated Tape, as we look at Opera, you look at the Opera feed, it peaks at sort of 40 gig. So when you're looking at a network provider and doing it yourself, you need to have the bandwidth in place to do that. That's by partnering with TNS that has a 100 gig backbone within all locations. You know, when that Consolidated Tape becomes live, you're not going to have any constraints with actually consuming that data and having a partner in place that takes redundancy, resiliency, latency, and network contention very seriously.